Hey guys, Zach King here with another Final Cut Pro tutorial. Today we're going to look at a vector shape and have it animate over a map. I'll show you the effect. So there you see it's kind of a nice animation. If, I don't know, you want to add it to a website or a video. I've used this in an infomercial a couple times, highlighting different products or prices or text on a page. It's really useful. Kind of a nice animation going around in that oval. And I got this map from MapQuest, so if you want to follow along or do this after you watch this, just get a map or something and start circling your stuff away. Let's start here. We got a map of Seattle, and once you get that into your browser, drag that into your timeline. Then go to this little button here. This is your video generators button. Now, I have a vector shape right there, but that's because I've been using it recently. Whatever you used recently will be at the top there. But since it's not there for you guys, probably go down to your Boris and vector shape. And I'm going to make sure this V2 is selected and overwrite that on there. Trim that down. Good. And make sure you select your clip in the timeline when you work on it. Come to your controls, and it would be helpful if I had the playhead over the clip we're working on. See, we have two options here. We have a rectangle and an oval. For this effect, I think it looks a lot better with an oval, so you probably want to do that. I mean, there's plenty of times you can use a rectangle, and they've also got these cool corner types. You can get concave and straight, convex, and that's a whole nother tutorial. You can do tons of stuff with this vector shape thing, but right now we're just going to click oval. Couple things. We have this white area that's blocking most of the map, or at least the part we want to highlight, and that's going to be fixed by coming down, scrolling down to the fill. You want to uncheck that box. Now that it's gone, and that's because we have nothing checked here. We don't have the border on, we don't have this fill, and let's scroll back up to the top. And let's get the border number 1. Check that box and you'll see a black line. Default color, but I'm going to change that. Clicking on the color thing. And I'm going to get this red. That's a nice red right there. That looks fine. It's a little thick for me. I'm going to narrow it down a little bit. There we go. 9. That looks good. And it's kind of centered. Yeah, if you want to make this smaller, if I want to focus it more on Seattle, that little star it has on the map, I'm going to lower this, and I'm going to take the top down a little bit, and maybe the right, move that in. So you can almost make it, you could actually make it a circle if you wanted. I'm going to keep it more of an oval, and then drag that, kind of center it right there. That's looking good. Now come up to your motion tab, and this is where we're going to add the drop shadow, and that looks good. You could pass with that. I like to soften it down just a wee little bit. Right there. Okay. That's good. So, here's the animation part. It's very simple. Couple keyframing things. Drag your playhead to the beginning of your timeline. And I'm going to take this border begin right here and take it all the way to 100. That gets rid of it completely. And add a keyframe. So hit this little keyframe button, and you'll see right here, if I zoom in on that, you can see a little keyframe in there, and you'll see another one pop out when we scroll out to where we want to end. If you wanted a fast animation, you would end there, and it would literally circle so fast. Or if you wanted a longer one, you could end here. I'm going to probably go about here. I'm going to take that all the way back to 0. And you saw animate there, kind of. And see, there's that other keyframe. And you could do other things with this keyframe. Right click on it, and you have an option for smoothing, which basically would, oops, I deleted it. Which basically would make it slow down near the end. And there's a couple fancy things you could do, but I'm going to be simple right now for this tutorial. And there it animates on. Looks fine. You could render it here, select both of them and hit Apple R. You get that thing rendered. And yeah, play around with this vector shape tool. It's really neat. There's a ton of different options you could do, you know, with the rectangle, with the oval, and colors. You can also do different kind of animation. I think you can also, yeah, you could take it into Z space. So that's pretty neat right there. Play around with it though. It's pretty cool. And I think that's the end of that tutorial. So check out our website for the upcoming tutorials. We got some good ones coming up. We're also going to be hitting on motion and some 3D effects. So stay tuned. I'll see you guys later.